So we have a nice quick video showing you guys how to disassemble a Jaguar E-TYPE steering column. So I've already taken it apart to replace a couple of steering bushes that failed, and it meant the whole steering wheel was very loose, very wobbly. So I've taken them all apart, replaced them. I thought I'll show you guys how I did it. So first of all, there's a couple of grub screws around the back here. You undo them, there's 3 of them. So you take those off, and then what will happen is you release the badge and the horn. So you then take that out, put it to one side. You then have a nice big push rod, that's the horn. So you then remove that as well. Then using a wrench, you then remove the nut which is inside the middle of the steering wheel. So I've already loosened this one so it's come straight off, which is excellent. And with a couple of good taps, the whole steering wheel should come off like so. So after you've done that, what you're going to want to do is pull this middle bit all the way out, and then that allows you to remove the split cone. So you take that off, put that somewhere nice and safe. You can then unscrew the lock nut. There you go, it's now completely off, and that should just pull all the way off like so. Once again, pop that somewhere safe. The next bit, what we're going to do is the indicator cover. So this right hand side just pops off nicely, as you can see. Put that to one side. Left hand side, however, unscrew one of the screws at the top and one at the bottom. Both of them are the flathead ones. And then the cover just comes off like so. Then what you're going to want to do is take the screwdriver, and you can remove the whole of the indicator housing here. Quite easy, 2 standard screws, top and bottom. And then what we want to do, take this nut and bolt off here, and what this is the steering wheel height adjustment up and down. That should drop out like so. Careful though with this wire, you just want to pull this out from behind, there you go, and then you can just let it drop away there. So you've got a couple of screws here. What you want to do, you're going to want to undo them. What that means is that can now move forwards, this little collar here, and then the other side you can get access to the stop button, and this just, all this does is stop the steering wheel coming out too far. So I can unscrew this now, and there you go, this whole shaft comes straight out like so. So after we've done that, we can then undo here at the back. So once again, just get your wrench, and if you lock it on one side, get a spanner the other side. So now the whole of the outer tube assembly is dropped off and is free. We just want to undo one more here. Pull the bolts out, there we go. And the whole thing drops straight out, as you can see. Now the whole of the inner column just slides straight out, there we go. Like that. Done. So what happened? We had a failure here. We've got some rubber seals there and there. The lower one had failed, and which meant the whole steering wheel column was rocking. But as you can see, it's now all been fully taken apart. Relatively quick and easy, nice and simple. And then yeah, to put it back together, exactly the same but in reverse. And there you go, done. So these 2 parts, as you can see in my hand, are the new bushes. So the old one, let me grab some bits for you, is here. So that's all we had left of it. This is just falling out the bottom of the outer tube assembly, and then what happened was the steering became very loose and wobbly. So here are the new bits, the replacement parts. As you can see, it's all fully been taken apart, and so now I'll be able to show you guys how to put it all back together again. So we've got our two little pushers here. So the thin one, you can see there we've got one. As you can see there, we've got one thick one and one thin one. So the thin one goes at the top, closer to the driver, and then the thick one goes at the bottom. And both just push in. You can see the holes. There we go, one there, one on the back. That's where it just sticks through. So both have now been slotted in there. And the key thing here is now actually to lubricate them, because they'll be rubbing against the rest of the steering wheel. So that housing there will stay exactly where it is, and when you turn the steering wheel, the inner bit will actually be the bit doing the rotating. So just put some lube on there. This is just lithium grease bearing lube. There we go, that's on there. Excellent. So now what you're going to want to do is slide the inner column back through the outer tube assembly. So that's now back in. So the next thing we'll do is start reattaching it. So first of all, I'm going to reattach it here at the bottom. You see this little groove in here? That faces down to the floor. So I find if you twist this so it's slightly off, it works best. Undo this nuts and bolts here. Slide that back in there. It'll be easier when these two are back in. So it's quite simple there to line them back up. Get my two bolts and then just find the holes and work it back through. So that's all back together nicely. Well, now what we'll do is reattach this. Simple case of just push it back in. Then you're going to lift the whole thing back up. So now what we're going to do is reattach the indicator column, and that's quite simple, just screw it back in. Now what we're going to want to do is insert the inner column here and make sure that groove is to the left hand side. So what I'll do, I'll line it up and slide it in. So now the stop button is back in, so that was actually round the other side. Quite tricky to get in, but it's just opposite the other side, and that's just to stop the steering wheel coming out too far and going in too far. So that's its purpose there. And now what we're going to do is fix this. Little square plates, and we'll do the top one first. Next what we're going to do is put back on the indicator covers there. So the left one screws in and the right one just the other half then just clips on top. So now the indicator's set up is back on. Is return this.